Hello, welcome back to Retro Gaming Rewind. So in honor of Star Wars just sort of being officially back on the scene after that amazing new trailer that came out, I have to review Star Wars Super Empire Strikes Back for the Super Nintendo. I hope you really like getting your ass kicked if you're going to play this game, because it's going to happen a whole lot. Do not be ashamed. The first thing you should do in this game is switch it to easy. Yes, this game is well known for its difficulty, and it will test every reflex that you have, and if you suck at this game, it has no problem handing you your ass on a nice little dish. Or maybe a big dish, depends how big your ass is. But straight away I wanted to make note of how great the sound is in this game. Just listen to the music and some of the sound effects here. Now, even though this game was published by JVC here in America, which I always thought was a little odd, this is a full-on, top-notch LucasArts production. There are two other games in this same series here, and that's for the first Star Wars: A New Hope, and although that's not what it's titled, and then of course there's Return of the Jedi. I don't know how difficult those games are because I actually haven't played them, but if they're anything like this one, it's tough. So obviously, as you can tell from the footage here, it's an action platformer. Very fun game despite how hard it is. You know, some cool boss fights here. As you can see, this is like trying to be like some version of the Ice Monster in Hoth or something like that, I guess. Not exactly canon, but still pretty cool. And the game has a ton of variety in it. You know, they really try to recreate the whole movie for you. As you can see here, you're doing sort of like a shmup version of the Snowspeeder. Earlier you saw sort of like the 3D-esque version of the Snowspeeder level as well, where you could get to take down AT-STs and AT-ATs. So there's definitely a whole lot of cool stuff for you to do if you are a big Star Wars fan, especially of this movie. As I said before, this game is tough, very tough, and I have a confession to make. This is actually the only game, when I first got it, that I was never able to get past the first level. Just wasn't able to do it. As hard as I tried back then, just couldn't do it, and I think I just eventually gave up and returned the game. It was just too damn hard, and it wasn't until I actually sat down and did this review where I actually pushed on and got as far as I did in the game. LucasArts must have really known how hard they were making this game, because the nice thing about playing this game now is that they have a ton of cheat codes, and I was very anti-cheat code back then, but now I'm just like, fuck it, I don't care, give me cheat codes. And, you know, I totally use cheat codes in this review. Because, you know what, that's kind of part of the experience now, to just go back and play these games. And the cheat codes definitely make this game a whole lot of fun, because there's level selects, you can cheat your way to force powers, and a whole bunch of other cool stuff. You can just look them up. I'll actually put a link to some codes down in the description below. This is just a very fun game for any Star Wars fan. You know, the fact that you're able to play as Han Solo, you're able to play as Luke Skywalker, you're able to play as Chewbacca, all these different levels. It's just a very, very fun game. Yeah, so graphically speaking, obviously the footage here speaks for itself. The game is still beautiful. The graphics hold up incredibly well. It's still very colorful, and it just hits all the right Star Wars tones. It's just an awesome, awesome looking game. So the game doesn't have a save system, so to speak, but it does have a password system. So you can save your progress that way, or you can just take advantage of passwords that already exist, and that's kind of where some of the cheat codes come in. So ultimately, my recommendation for this game is this is an absolute must-own for pretty much anybody who has a Super Nintendo, especially if you're a Star Wars fan. But really, you don't have to be a Star Wars fan. This is just a fantastic game, as long as you're up for a little bit of a challenge. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is my review. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I will talk to you soon.
Here, order now. There is no try.